Okay, so we do have a quorum present today for our continuing nurse education and IV therapy committee meeting. So we'll call the meeting to order. We do not have an on-site packet today. Do we have any additions or revisions to the agenda? Okay, any announcements?
We can announce our new general counsel if you want to, Nicole Turner and Jordan Atkins. So they're joining us and you'll see them around.
We are very excited to work with the board and just joining today to introduce ourselves to everybody, learn the processes and try to get up to speed as fast as we can, as quickly as we can. So,
Perfect.
thank you.
All right, well, thanks for joining us. That's nice to have.
Thank you.
Okay, so as part of the packet, we did have our minutes from the December 9th meeting. Give everybody a few moments. If you need time again to review those and be ready for a motion whenever someone is ready.
Madam Chair, I move to approve the December 9th, 2025 CNE and IV therapy committee as written. Meeting minutes as written.
You have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Tasha, please. Any discussion? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Okay, so we have some consent agenda items. Want to walk us through those? Cheryl, please?
Yeah, that starts on page 6 and 7. Page 6 has the IOA statistical report that we do every time. That includes the number of IOAs, how many we approved, how many we denied, and then long-term provider applications, single provider applications, of which we've been a lot busier with those, and then IV certification provider applications. So those are just there. Then page 7 has the single providers that we've approved. And then there were no long-term provider relinquishments. So.
Great. We will move on to unfinished business.
Did you want to approve?
Oh, sorry, we need to remove a motion to approve those consent item agenda. Thanks for keeping me on track there.
Madam Chair, I move to approve the consent item agenda, which includes IOA statistical report, single providers approved, and provider relinquishments.
Thank you. A motion, is there a second?
Second.
One question real quick on the brain injury, it says 2006 annual brain injury conference. I'm assuming 2026, but.
Good catch.
Thank you.
Do you want me to just put in to correct 126?
Yeah. We want to start over here to be official. Want to should like to make a motion.
Sure. I move to approve the consent item agenda, which includes the IOA statistical report, single providers approved with a correction to 2026 annual brain injury conference and 3 provider relinquishments.
You have a motion. Is there a second?
Again, Kim.
Second. Any discussion? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, now we will move to unfinished business. Or would you like to just touch base on kind of potential next steps with Irene?
Yeah, we just need to move next to starting to look at the exam and stuff. So maybe an option is to table that until June.
Any questions about?
I'll try to get some work done.
That. So then next on the agenda is the 5-year combined statute and regulation review. We had talked about a plan for review, at each quarterly meeting, and, these were the first 3 that we were going to review, so I might just offer that in light of some changes that will be happening within statutes and regulations, et cetera, that maybe just delay and push this off till potentially June, to see what those statutes and regulations are for review next year, right?
Yeah. Makes sense.
Okay, great, so we will table that. So we will move to new business, long-term provider 5-year renewals. Our first renewal is community healthcare system, and that was Amy and Melanie. And Melanie, and I didn't. From the. Review, okay,
I did not.
okay, well. Everyone is in luck because this is actually a very.
It is.
Application, so, I think Dean Carroll's review and mine, hopefully, this is like one that could be an example for those who, want to submit. I did not have any, I thought all the, information from for the requirements were provided. Also for the proposed offerings. I did not have any issues. So. Did someone feel comfortable with me?
I did, I actually looked through all 3 of them, just trying to get familiar, so
Okay,
I'm happy to do that.
great.
I move to approve the long-term provider 5-year renewal application from Community Healthcare Systems, Inc. LT 0115 0516.
You have a motion. Is there a second?
Also, Sasha.
You. Any discussion? Any abstentions? Motion carries. So the next one is Corridor TCG Media Inc. And that is Tasha and Brian. And this, for everyone else, it starts on page 78.
When I went through this, it's pretty inclusive. I had a question regarding the record keeping. Some of what they sent. It's a little bit small for my eyes to see. On the pages. And so I'm not real sure about them keeping copies of their evaluations and things like that. Did you see any of that, Brian?
I don't think, yeah, that's where I have the most notes on mine, just that I felt like it was missing some of the things that may have been there, the title and objectives. Things like, yeah, I just felt like was missing some data there. And then I had a question on the, I think Carol had noted it too. On the documentation of attendance, the participant's name, license number, number of contact hours rewarded. It said they could put it on themselves. I didn't know if we wanted them to have the ability, I didn't know how much you cared for people putting their own things on documents instead of having the.
30-hour staff.
Yeah, that was my, or some, any number I want to put, anybody's number I want to put down there, so.
We'll speak to that. I don't know if that's allowed or it's not. I don't have a review about that.
But then we see it very much, yeah.
Oh, this is very helpful. Now, it shows there that they had put it on. But. I think that they need to give us more information about their record keeping. And I think that we need to clarify whether they're going to decide from their testing how long it takes to do the offering. And they should be getting that on there. I don't think that they should allow the attendees to do that.
Yeah, it's an addendum B, page under it on there in our packet. Under section, I think it's 6, number 6, name and license number of the participant. Then in parentheses, participant must add their own license number to the certificate. Was my question, I guess. That's allowed.
We do have a section that says that they have to be complete before, yeah, before they get a certificate out.
Sometimes there is a stop gap, but you wouldn't be able to get the certificate unless you completed it, and that's when you would add your, license number. But you wouldn't be able to get the certificate, so. But I mean, like, technically you would be able to.
So, I mean, I think maybe it's not clear. I wonder if we would be okay with just the providing, we could approve and provide the recommendation that they include the license number when they provide the certificate, just to have that noted. I wonder about, I know sometimes it was the same in the provider that I reviewed, like sometimes they state certain things and then they, like, and then they provide some of their documents.
That didn't look like that necessarily.
Yeah, so they
Yeah.
do say on page 101. Process for records keeping and storage, and in this section, they have listed, it's actually, then you have to go to page 102, but it says they will keep electronic copies of the following for a minimum of 2 years, and they essentially here have just restated what our requirements are. So here they say a summary of planning, advertising, screenshots, of course, context, time tests, subject matter, expert contracts and post-test evaluation. Those are all of our. I didn't see, I seemed like maybe they had another section later, which is in some of their documentation, but. It looked like for this, they kind of have plopped it all in there. And keeping it up in the cloud, so.
Okay.
Take that. That's something for them.
That's all I really.
Yeah,
have.
other than that, that was fine.
Someone want to make a motion with, starting point here, which is that extra.
I move to approve the corridor, the CG Media five-year renewal with the, with the addition of them putting the license number on their certifications for the hours that the person is receiving. Only keeping everything, all of their records for 2 years. So,
Like recommendation. But either. Item. Motion.
yes, with recommendation, reminder to make sure that they're doing it.
Okay, let's do it. So we have a motion. We have a second.
I would second it.
Okay, any additional discussion? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Cheers. Okay, and we have our third, which is Michelle and Allison. Presbyterian Banners of Mid-America.
Allison, the evil eye.
I only had a question
On 6, page 152. Does not include info about acceptable aid, so is that us asking? The bibliography needs to have books of the book published within the last 10 years. So is that a recommendation that maybe it's?
We do, I mean, it's gone both ways, like sometimes if that seems to be the key, that's, everything else looks good, then. We have approved with that recommendation rather than hold off for additional information, but it's.
Yeah, I definitely think they need to add that statement in there, but also I didn't find anything about agendas anywhere. Or credit with fractions over 30 minutes. I didn't see completion for the post test or return demonstration either. And then my final question was on the 2 proposed offerings. They were from 2022 and 2023. What's our time limit on what they can produce as their examples? Because we're in 2026, so I feel like that's a pretty large gap.
Usually it's within that 5-year period. As
They
they say,
think we
the
would
5-year
anything within the
renewal,
5-year, okay,
and that's
okay. So then I guess also in their offerings, they didn't have the references on either one of them. If you log, I prefer references. And then, like I said, the agendas.
So are those items that, I'm sorry, Michelle, another piece
Nope.
too.
Those were set out. I saw it was Allison, like she's the legal eye.
Oh, stop.
Are those items that, I didn't see specifically where they went on that list, but it sounded like there were several pieces. So are those items that you would like to go back for additional information corrections or approval with assurance that those changes are made?
Well, I think like my thought is that it was consistent throughout, so there was no agenda produced at all, and I have it marked several times through where it falls under. So that's one of my concerns with that. And then when we got to the offerings, there still wasn't an agenda produced either, so. I don't know, how stringent are we? We need an agenda, we need the bibliographies. We need the statement with the bibliographies.
I think that they really need to do the bibliographies because we want them to be giving current.
Yeah, definitely needs to be included along with the agenda. I mean, and I guess for that matter, they don't have like the fractions, they only talk about 50 minutes, so. I don't know if they're only ever gonna offer 1 credit hour. Or, I mean, 1 CEU or what? So I would probably ask for monthly.
So if
I don't know,
you
thoughts?
have. I mean, I think that seems reasonable if you have specifically marked on your paper that she could share with you, Carol, to send you follow up and then essentially
Sure.
here are the specific items that were felt so that we'd like to see. You know, if either acknowledgement, like if they previously hadn't provided agendas, acknowledgement, how that will be in their 5-year plan moving forward. And to just address those other questions. So to address their, plan, at least for the new one, moving forward, if they're able to provide those examples as well, then that would be good. Does that, do I summarize that?
Somebody got that on a motion?
Well, so do we need to make a motion? Because we're not approving them. We're just gonna send this back and then they would have to submit to you. Do we need?
So, okay, let me be clear. You're sending the whole thing back and telling them they've got to redo it again because they're missing these? Or are you wanting it to go back and they have to submit these things and then it comes in June? I'm not clear exactly what you're looking
I missed the difference of what you said. So I think what we're saying is that it needs to come back to you.
The whole
Right.
thing.
Like,
Well, I guess what do you mean when you say the whole thing versus the pieces that they?
Well, sometimes what you've done is I send this application back and I say, it was missing da 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 da. So you need to resubmit another application for June that just ensure that you have all of the missing pieces there.
Or option B is,
Or option B would be we keep this application, they send us the missing pieces, we put it in here, and then we bring it again in June. We've done it both ways.
but do we, I mean, to me, that's fine to fill that, but do we need a motion with option B? Or which of those
Yes,
we need a
I think you
motion?
need a motion, it's on the motion.
Okay.
need a motion either way.
I got all pieces, do you?
I think I was being misremembering. I don't know why. I mean, yeah, no, that is good.
I have a highlight where we would need the bibliography, I don't wanna say timeline, but what would you say?
The agendas?
We do need the agendas, but the bibliography, they need to be able to produce like. The past 10 years and 5 years online. And they need the agendas or an agenda. An example of agenda. Credit for, I could be using our little number and alphabet here. So it'd be 6E, 7A, 7C, 9E, which is the completion of the post-test or return demonstration. All they have is this survey. And should they give us that, that will fulfill our needs in the proposed offerings with the agenda and the bibliography that is missing from both of the offerings that they've provided examples of. Does that make sense?
Okay, so. Want to resubmit the application in June, making sure that they have included 6A, 7, or 6E, 7A, 7C.
Except just the parts that are missing.
Yeah, the
They're
parts that
just,
are
I think they're
missing.
just coming corrections to the application.
And
Sounds like.
13D. It's just another agenda piece, but it's record keeping, so I'm sure they have,
When do they expire?
they have it in all the right places.
Just,
So it's. Approved with, providing that they give us those things. Or we're just full.
Yeah, so I think the motion is that we are asking this provider for these additions to your application that we will then review and continue. Okay.
will they expire before June?
Usually, what you've done in the past, if they do expire, yeah, then you just kind of make sure that they stay approved until June, when you have a chance.
That's, I was just making sure that.
They might want to put that in that motion too.
Just that will extend approval until
Yes.
re-review it. Would you like to make a motion?
I move to request more information from Presbyterian Manners of New America. For their 5-year renewal application, to include 6E, 7A, 7C, 9E, and 13D. For them to submit that to us, and then we can relook at their application in June. And if they should expire or become expired before then, we will extend that approval until we reevaluate the June.
Have a motion, there's a second.
Second.
Any discussion? Any extension? Motion carries. So everyone for your review of those others. Okay, so this is our agenda for the June committee meeting. And we have you know that we'll have an update on the Ivy task force. And a review of the statute and regulation review plan. Obviously, the provider renewals as needed. Any additional items? That's it. That's the end of our agenda, and we will adjourn.
See you in a bit, cool.
Thank you.